May 34, Senior Systems Architect. Work for mid-sized fintech company handling high-frequency transaction routing. Literal backbone of the company's revenue stream. I sit in a windowless server room by choice because the hum of the cooling units is better than the sound of sales team chattering about their weekend benders. Autistic levels of focus. Zero interest in office politics, birthday parties, or team-building exercises where we build spaghetti towers. My philosophy is simple: uptime is God, latency is the devil, everything else is noise. Current stack is a custom C++ engine I wrote 6 years ago. Legacy code, sure, but optimized to the microsecond. It processes $50 daily without breaking a sweat. 99.999% uptime for 4 years running. I am the only one who truly understands the memory management pointer arithmetic holding this house of cards together. C-suite knows this, they leave me alone. Pay is good, work is quiet. Life is acceptable. Enter the disruption. Old CTO retires, good guy, understood that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Board hires external replacement to modernize corporate culture and align with global ESG standards. Enter Veronica. Mid-30s, degree in organizational psychology and an MBA from a uni known for protests, not economics. Title: VP of Engineering and Inclusive Innovation. Red flags start flying immediately. First all-hands meeting. She introduces herself with her pronouns she, her, and land acknowledgement. Whatever standard corpo speak these days. Then she drops the bomb. We are going to deconstruct the patriarchal structures inherent in our code delivery pipeline. I look around. The dev team is 8 guys, 2 girls. We all just want to write code and go home. She puts up a slide deck. It's 90% buzzwords: synergy, intersectionality, holistic workflows, empowered narrative. Zero technical roadmap. Zero mention of the Q4 scalability targets. I sink lower in my chair, hoping to remain invisible. No such luck. 1 week later. Mandatory 1 wants to assess cultural fit. Walk into her office. It smells like lavender and passive aggression. She has my file open. Anon, I've been reviewing your performance metrics. Uptime is good, I assume, I ask, keeping it dry. Uptime is adequate, she says, waving a hand dismissively, but your team interaction score is 0. I work alone on the core kernel. It requires isolation. That's the problem, she says, leaning forward. The lone wolf genius archetype is a toxic male myth. It discourages collaboration and creates an exclusionary environment for marginalized voices. I blink. I manage the memory allocation for financial transactions. If I let a junior dev touch the pointer logic, we lose millions in seconds. It's not about gender, it's about competence. Her eyes narrow. Competence is often a dog whistle for gatekeeping. Anon, we need to democratize the codebase. She hands me a document. Project Gaia. I read the abstract. She wants to rewrite the entire C++ core in JavaScript Node.js because C++ is an exclusionary language with a high barrier to entry that disproportionately affects women and minorities. She literally wrote that. JavaScript is more accessible and communal, she explains. I feel a vein in my forehead throb. Veronica Node.js is single-threaded. Our throughput requires multi-threading at the hardware level. The garbage collection alone will cause latency spikes that will trigger slippage in the trade execution. We will lose clients. You're using fear-mongering to protect your fiefdom, she counters. I'm using math to protect the company. The decision is made. We are pivoting to a more inclusive tech stack. Also, we need to address the terminology in your documentation. Terminology. Master-slave database replication, kill-child processes, blacklists, it's violent colonialist language. It's industry-standard technical nomenclature. It's violence, she snaps, you will rename everything. Master becomes primary, slave becomes replica, kill becomes terminate. Renaming database architecture requires a full system migration. The risk of data corruption is massive. Do it, or I'll find someone who has the emotional intelligence to understand why this matters. Leave office. Realize this is FUBAR. Go back to my desk. Open terminal. Start documenting everything. Every conversation. Every directive. Create a folder named Insurance. Encrypted naturally. 2 weeks later. Veronica hires 3 new junior engineers. All women fresh out of 12-week coding boot camps. Diversity hires to balance the ratio. She introduces them to me. This is the Gaia team. You will mentor them on the transition to Node.js. I look at their resumes. One was a barista 3 months ago. One has a degree in interpretive dance. One actually has a CS degree but lists HTML CSS as her primary languages. Do you know what a race condition is? I ask the CS major. She looks at Veronica. Is that a microaggression? Veronica asks me. It's a question about concurrency, I say, relevant to the job. Stop grilling them. You're creating a hostile workspace. Just give them root access and let them start refactoring. Root access to the production servers. For bootcamp grads. I take a deep breath. Veronica, giving root access to untrained personnel violates ISO 27001 compliance in our insurance policy. I cannot authorize that. I am your superior. I am authorizing it. I need that in writing, explicitly stating you are bypassing my security recommendation. She rolls her eyes. Typical bureaucratic stalling. Fine. Sends the email. Per my directive, grant full admin privileges to the Gaia team immediately to facilitate the dismantling of legacy gatekeeping structures. I print the email. Save it to the insurance folder. Grant the access. Create a sandbox environment that looks asterisk-like production, but is actually a mirror. I'm not suicidal. But wait, she notices. Why are they on a staging server? I said production. We test in production. Fail fast is a feminist act of reclaiming space. Literal insanity. Testing in production with financial data is illegal, I state. We are disrupting the legal framework too. Move them to live. Send another email. She does. I move them to live. But I enable the read-only flag on the actual transaction ledger without telling them. They can break the interface, but they can't burn the money. Yet, the refactoring begins. It's a bloodbath. They start replacing optimized bit shifting operations with npm install izod packages. The codebase bloats from 200 MB to 4 GB in a week. Dependency hell ensues. They try to rename the database tables from master ledger to primary collaborative ledger, without updating the hard-coded pointers in the legacy API. System starts throwing 404s internally. Latency jumps from 2 ms to 400 ms. Clients start calling. Why are my trades lagging? Veronica intercepts the tickets. We are experiencing growing pains as we transition to a more equitable platform. Please be patient as we humanize our tech. She actually sends that to a hedge fund manager. Fund manager calls the CEO. CEO calls Veronica. Veronica calls me. Anon, why is the code you wrote fighting the new system? Did you sabotage it? No, Veronica, you put diesel in a Tesla. The new code is inefficient. The humanized variable names are causing serialization errors because the length exceeds the buffer limit I warned you about. Fix it, but don't revert the changes. Make the old system accept the new inclusive syntax. That requires rewriting the compiler flags. It will take weeks. You have 48 hours. We go full live with Project Gaia on Friday, International Women's Day. It's symbolic. Of course it is. 48 hours to do the impossible. Or 48 hours to prepare for the end. I choose the latter. I verify my contract. Standard employment agreement. Except for one clause I negotiated 6 years ago. Intellectual property created regarding the Atlas compression algorithm remains the property of the employee until fully vested after 7 years. It's been 6 years, 10 months. The Atlas algorithm is what makes the whole system fast. It's a dynamic library linked to the main executable. If I leave, they have a license to use it. But if they fire me, or if they modify it without my permission, the license is void. Veronica has been modifying the calls to the library, wrapping them in layers of bloatware, Technically, she is reverse engineering my IP to make it work with her node, JS monstrosity. Malicious compliance mode, engaged. Friday morning. Migration day. Office is decorated with balloons. Smash the patriarchy, smash the legacy code banner. Cringe is palpable. Veronica stands on a desk. Today we liberate our data from the shackles of binary thinking. Applause from her 3 hires and the HR department. The sales guys look terrified. I sit at my desk, hands folded. 0900 AM. Market opens. Veronica hits deploy. Her team pushes the node, JS replacement to the main load balancers. Instantly, CPU usage spikes to 100%. Cooling fans in the server room scream like jet engines. I can hear them through the soundproof glass. Dashboards turn red. Latency 1500 ms, 3000 ms, timeout. Transactions start failing. Database connection refused. Stack Overflow ironic. Undefined is not a function. Millions of dollars in trades are stuck in limbo. Phones start ringing. All of them. At once. It sounds like a fire alarm. Veronica is staring at the big screen. Why is it red? Red is an aggressive color. Change the dashboard theme to calming blue. Veronica, I say, standing up. The system has crashed. The Node.js event loop is blocked. You are processing 50,000 requests per second with a single thread. Fix it, scale it up. You can't vertical scale a single thread indefinitely. I told you this. Spin up more instances. The database is locked. The primary renaming script corrupted the index files because you didn't sanitize the inputs. It's interpreting the inclusive underscores as escape characters. The database is literally eating itself. Money is vaporizing. CEO bursts in. What is happening? We just lost the Citadel account. Veronica points a shaking finger at me. It's him. Anon refused to mentor the team. He left traps in the code. This is toxic masculinity sabotaging our progress. CEO looks at me. Fix it, Anon, now. I look at the screen. I look at Veronica. I look at the CEO. I can't. What do you mean you can't? Veronica revoked my right access to the production environment yesterday. She said my code commits were aggressive and needed to be reviewed by the diversity committee first. CEO turns to Veronica. Is this true? I had to ensure the code tone was appropriate. Give HIM access. Veronica types furiously. Fine, you have access. I sit down. Open terminal. Sudo systemctl stop Gaia service. Sudo systemctl start legacy core. Error. Fatal Atlas library corrupted, hash mismatch. Her script tried to patch my binary. The backup, I say, we need to restore from backup. We deleted the backups, one of the bootcamp's girls whispers. What, I ask? Veronica said keeping old backups was hoarding and holding onto the past. We needed the server space for the new inclusivity training videos. Silence. Absolute deafening silence. The company is dead in the water. The CEO looks like he's having a stroke. Is there anything at all? I lean back. Well, there is my personal off-site backup. Hope flares in the CEO's eyes. But I continue, that backup contains the source code for the Atlas algorithm, which per my contract is my personal intellectual property. We own everything you write, Veronica shrieks. Not this, check the contract, clause 14b, vesting period 7 years, I'm at 6 years 10 months. I pull up the contract on the screen. Furthermore, by attempting to reverse engineer and modify the binary without my consent, you have violated the limited usage license. I am issuing a cease and desist immediately. You can't be serious, the CEO says, we will go bankrupt. Not my problem, I warned you, I documented it, I was ignored, I was insulted, my professional reputation was attacked by your VP. I pull up the insurance folder. Show the emails. The don't mansplain concurrency to me, email. The delete the backups email. The test in production email. The CEO reads them. His face goes from red to pale white. He turns to Veronica. The look on his face is not inclusive. It is extremely exclusionary. Get out, he whispers. But this is retaliation. I will sue. Get out, he roars. Security is called. Veronica is escorted out, screaming about how the server room is a patriarchy. The bootcamp girls follow, crying. CEO turns to me. Anon, please fix it. Name your price. I quit. No, you can't. I just did, effective immediately. We will sue you. Good luck. I have the IP, the paper trail, and the only copy of the database that works. If you sue me, the discovery process will make these emails public. Your stock will go to zero. He knows I'm right. What do you want? Consultant contract. Fine. Triple my hourly rate, guaranteed 12-month retainer paid upfront, full IP rights acknowledged in writing, and I want Veronica's office. I need the window. Done. One more thing. What? We revert everything. No Node.js, no primary replica renaming until we do a proper migration in 2026, and no more HR and engineering meetings. Deal. Spend the next 4 hours restoring the system. I pull the clean image from my private encrypted server. Restore the database structure. Flush the garbage node processes. Recompile the kernel. Start the service. Green lights. Latency drops to 1-2 ms. Systems stabilize. The hum of the servers returns to normal. Sales guys start cheering in the other room. I walk out to the coffee machine. Pour a black coffee. Sit in my new office, formerly Veronica's. It still smells like lavender. I open the window to let the city smog in. Much better. Check bank account. Wire transfer received. Large number. Open laptop. Delete the insurance folder. Check email. New message from HR. Exit interview for Veronica. Delete. Open terminal. Sudo apt-get update. Life is good again. Epilogue. 3 months later. Company is back on track. Stock recovered. I hired 2 new juniors. Nerdy guys who don't talk much. We communicate via Git commit messages. Efficient. Hear rumors about Veronica. She's suing the company for wrongful termination. Claims she was fired for disrupting the boys' club. Company legal team uses my paper trail. Case dismissed with prejudice. She now writes a blog on Medium about tech trauma and sells healing crystals on Etsy. I read one article for laughs. How C++ is a tool of oppression. Chuckle. Close tab. Go back to optimizing the memory allocator. Saved 4 microseconds per transaction today. It ain't much, but it's honest work. Year later. My vesting period ends. I now fully own the Atlas algorithm. CEO asked to renew the license. Price went up, I say. How much? At a 0. He signs. Wage Kate escaped. I now work remotely from a cabin in the woods. Satellite internet. Solar power. No HR. Just me and the code. Sometimes I miss the hum of the server room. Then I look at my bank account. And the silence is beautiful.